How's it going, gang? It's the final render here, and in today's Fallout 76 news video, we're going to be looking over the Inside the Vault article that was released today, talking about some of the new things coming to Fallout 76 in the future. And something of note about this Inside the Vault article is that it is actually the last Inside the Vault article of 2019. The Inside the Vault articles have been a really great source of communication from Bethesda about what is happening inside Fallout 76, and it was kind of reactionary. Fans of the game pretty much asked Bethesda to be more transparent, and they decided to make these series of articles in order to let us, the players, know what's coming out in the game. So Bethesda, thank you very much for having these weekly Inside the Vault articles to give us all the cool information that's coming out about Fallout 76. We really do appreciate constant feedback and communication with each other, and we can only make the game better by carrying on this tradition. So thank you very much from me, the final render. I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say thank you. But let's actually get into the information of this Inside the Vault article, because we got some good stuff. We have some cool Wastelanders news, which is very exciting. We've got some brand new screenshots from Wastelanders, and we kind of get a little bit of information about how Wastelanders will actually work, and even how the actual expansion will start, how you'll actually begin the quest. So that's very cool indeed. And let's start by looking at this article. So the first thing we see is a new picture of some NPCs standing outside the vault, and we find out that these two characters are called Lacey and Islia, and they are curious and are kind of looking around to see what's going on with the vault. They're not too certain what this new landscape is like, but they eventually give us some information about how to find the Wayward, and the Wayward is a bar that we can find very near the Overseer's camp. So as you can start to see, you can do the quest immediately after you leave the vault, and it then takes you to a place just outside the Overseer camp. It's clearly following a similar route to the original quest line, which is good because it means if you're a brand new player, you can start kind of both main quest lines at once. You can go to the Overseer camp and you can go to the Wayward at a similar time. So new players will get to experience the world in a very smooth and efficient way. It's not going to take us all around the map, etc. But the Wayward, we discover, is actually the bar that is owned by the character Duchess, who we are already aware of. And also we, of course, have Mort, who we have now learnt is actually a customer of the bar. But he actually does pretty much always stay there and helps out with Duchess, whenever there needs to have things cleaned up and stuff like that. However, we also then find out that Duchess has been having a couple rough customers recently, and Duchess will task us, the players, to finding out who they are and what's really going on. So that's kind of how we actually start Wastelanders. We start off by doing a quest for Duchess, and I presume these people who are rough kind of people are going to be raiders, or just like the start of some raider gangs. So we can actually start to see how all these new people coming into Appalachia at once are going to be interacting with each other, and of course will be interacting with us, the player, as well. And it's very cool to know how to actually start it, because I was wondering, is this going to be completely separate from the main quest, or is it going to kind of follow in a similar footsteps? And by the look of it, it will be separate, but we will start it in the same locations, which is obviously fantastic. And we also get some other interesting information as well. For example, we find out that Mort is actually an expert at the camp system, and he will actually be able to give us information about the surrounding areas and the camp as well. So I'm not too certain what this may mean. It may just mean that you can ask Mort questions about the camp, and he'll kind of act like a tutorial in a way, giving you some helpful tips about how the camp system will work. But it may also mean that Mort may be one of these little companions we can have inside our camp. Bethesda have confirmed that we will be able to have NPC companions inside our camp to, do some little things, look after crops and look after water, maybe defend the place, stuff like that. So maybe that's what Mort can do, ? I'm not too certain. But it's good to know that they actually do have interesting personalities, and we can kind of use them as tutorials in a way. Because there isn't actually a very good tutorial on the camp system in the game. There's a little bit, but it's mostly done in text form. So an actual human NPC to help teach new players the ropes of Fallout 76 is also very cool. I think that's a fantastic thing as well, especially for the new players. And we also get some other information about Wastelanders in the form of the pictures. So firstly, we can actually see what our initial two NPCs will look like when we meet Lacia and Islia. And they are actually just sitting outside the vault, as I said, and there is a sign near them directing people to the Wayward, so that's fantastic. We get a very cool picture of the Wayward itself, as it said, very near the Overseer camp, and it looks like a nice place actually. It's properly decorated. It looks kind of like it was originally a home in Flatwoods, that they have simply converted into a bar. They didn't build it themselves, if that makes sense. And then furthermore, we also get a look at some settlers repairing a generator. And by the look of it, this is actually outside of Spruce Knob. I believe we did hear that Spruce Knob was going to have a settlement below it. I believe they said the humans who live inside Appalachia in that underground area, that may actually be below Spruce Knob. So maybe these characters live essentially below Spruce Knob and they are emerging from underground for the first time, kind of like they made their own DIY vault, if that makes sense, where they've been sitting for 25 years. And we can actually see there is a sign which looks like it says Smith's General Goods, so we know that this place is actually going to act as a store as well. And what I find interesting about there being, say, a store and an NPC settlement on Spruce Knob is that Spruce Knob is one of the most undesirable areas you can claim in the game. It's a workshop in the game, but not many people claim it. So I wonder if that's something they're going to do inside the Wastelanders expansion. They're going to take some of the locations which really aren't used that much and turn them into human settlements, such as Spruce Knob. So that's pretty cool. It actually makes a workshop which not many people use into something useful, but I expect places like the ammo factory and stuff will still be clear of human NPCs, so you can go and claim it as much as you want, if that makes sense. And also something which is pretty cool about this entire expansion is that we actually find out that the Steam release will be slightly before Wastelanders comes out. And I'm sure many people have been saying, where is the Steam update? They were meant to go and release the game for Steam quite a while ago from what people were saying. But realistically speaking, there's been no news on it until now. And this is just confirmation saying that Steam will be having a launch of Fallout 76 closer to the launch of Wastelanders, but not on Wastelanders launch. So we can kind of confirm that it will release on Steam before the actual Wastelanders expansion comes out. I'm going to guess maybe a week beforehand, so people can play the game, enjoy it a little bit, and then when they finish the game, or finish the main quest at least, they'll be able to go and play Wastelanders, which I think is actually pretty logical. I think that does make sense. And also, we find out that we are getting a brand new event with the Purveyor. We are actually getting a return of the mystery pick from the Purveyor, and this will be coming on Christmas Eve and will be ending on New Year's night. So the very start of 2020 will be the end of this Purveyor sale. Pretty simple, as we know, acts like the regular Purveyor, except you can use 60 script in order to get a mystery pick, which will give you a random 3-star item. So therefore it could be a piece of armor, a melee weapon, or a ranged weapon, but it will only cost 60 script, which is actually a lot cheaper than what a normal 3-star item is. You just can't pick which one you get. So if you're like me and you pretty much always get 3 stars at Purveyors, then you can go and do this one and you will definitely get something cool. But that is what we got on the Inside the Vault article, and it is actually the last Inside the Vault article that we are getting for this year. And I think it's some pretty good information. It's nice to know how we can start Wastelanders. I was worried that it would be a bit of a mystery to start, but no, it's pretty simple to start by the look of it. And also, this all leads me to believe that Wastelanders may actually be coming sooner than we expected. Because as we know, we've already started to have teasers for Wastelanders, because we had that little area which we talked about in the video a few days ago, which is actually a test of their instancing tech. Every time in Wastelanders, when you speak to human NPCs inside their buildings, it is an instanced area, so you won't have other players running around and blowing things up and stuff while you're trying to have a conversation and enjoy the story, which is honestly a brilliant thing for the game. I think that'll definitely make the story aspect of it much more enjoyable by not having other humans running around and stuff like that. But looking at all the teasers we've been getting and the frequency of the teasers we've been getting, I do suspect that we'll probably get Wastelanders sooner rather than later. I'm going to say February still. They said it will come out in the first quarter of 2020, so probably March at the latest really, but realistically speaking, I think we'll probably get it around February time, which is awesome news. I think that's fantastic, and it can come out just after this game releases on Steam as well. And I mean, as long as it doesn't come out on the Epic Store as well, I think everyone will be happy with the Steam release of the game. And also, there's been some other stuff happening inside Fallout 76 as well. If you guys remember, in the last video I did just a few days ago, I mentioned there was a horrible thing in the Nuclear Winter game mode which I truly despised, and that was a change to the game where if there was a lower amount of players, the game would start with a smaller radius, and it caused a lot of problems. Primarily, it meant there wasn't enough loot for people to actually have a really enjoyable game, but that's actually now been reversed. That was patched out in a hotfix they did just the other day. And also, some of you may be aware that there has been a little bit of an issue in Fallout 76 recently, where external software was being used to import any of the props or items that were inside the Fallout 76 files into the main game was being used by players. And they were using it to bring in some very strange things, like the Pridwin into the game, for example. But primarily, they were using it to create their own 5-star legendary items, and this has now actually been at least made harder to happen, or is now impossible. I'm sure the people who hack the game will try to do it again. You know, I really don't think it's very responsible, but overall, it apparently has been removed from the game, which is great, because we don't want any of those extreme legendaries ruining the in-game economy, and it's a fantastic step in the right direction that literally just a few days after it started, Bethesda hotfixed the game. Keep in mind, this hotfix was maybe only 2 days after another hotfix. They immediately got onto it and immediately fixed the problem, which is fantastic. Well done, Bethesda. That swift reaction is exactly what the game needs whenever there is a problem like this, so thank you very much. And also, thank you very much to you guys on YouTube for watching the video. This has been a cool Fallout 76 news video, and we got some really cool stuff, and I really like the new images and information we got on Wastelanders. And as I said, this has been the last Inside the Vault article until 2020. So make sure you guys at Bethesda who write these articles, pat yourself on the back, get some good rest. I'm sure us lot will still be here waiting for the next one in January. And I can't wait to see what it says. But until then, I've been the Final Render, and you've been the audience, guys. Remember to check out all the cool Patreon people in the description below who help support the channel with their financial donations. You yourself, of course, can also do the same. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Until next time, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.